practice is to assign licenses to a group so that other users will inherit it. So why do we assign licenses to individual users rather than assigning it to group so that other users will inherit it?
So group licensing, as I said yesterday, depends. It depends on what you are trying to achieve. You remember we not use it for licenses, we also use it for role assignments. Remember, we assign AI administrator to that role, and the user they inherit it automatically. So the reason we are using the group licensing is we can use a PowerShell to create a security group and use that PowerShell to upload those user to to add those users as member using CSV file. Once you do that, the next thing you are just to do is just assign license to a group, to that group, and every other user will inherit it. You don't have to start assigning it one after the other. So, and also there are some companies that do segregations. The kind of license that is used by marketing is different from what is used by HR, because the services that marketing needed, HR might not need some of them. And for them to be able to cut costs, so they will remove some services that is removable, or the license that is reducible. Probably everybody in, let me say in HR, all they needed is just maybe Teams and a mailbox, Teams and a mailbox. That is all they needed. So they just bought Exchange Plan 1, and they bought Teams Essential for them. And that is all. They just assign it to the group. So in everybody in HR automatically, once they have new user, you don't need to start having a dig. What application with this person I need? No, you already have the group name HR. You just go there and add the person to the HR group. Finish. The person will inherit everything, and you are good to go. So it depends on what exactly you are trying to achieve. You are trying to do bulk assignments or anything you are trying to do, then to now determine the approaches you will do.
Okay. All right, so thank you very much.
Okay, so any other question? Any other question? So in absence, let me just do a quick rephrase of what we did yesterday. So yesterday we started our DNS configuration. We did our branding. For those that has tenants, do you try the branding? I think that was what took much of our time yesterday. And we talked about Microsoft 365 groups and how to assign license to multiple users without having to check one after the other. We did one from group, and we did one directly from your product in billings. So any question? Any question? So nobody tried the branding. Let me see. So I'm trying to sign in. Let me share my screen so I can see what I'm doing. Please, if you have question at any time, just unmute yourself and speak. At any point, if you have any question, just unmute yourself and speak. I believe everybody can see my screen now. Can everybody see my screen? Yes or no?
Yes, it's visible.
Oh, thank you. Glow users are yet to respond. Seems I like this our company name. Ah, ah, ah. What did I type? Lovina speaks that's on my that's com. See now, see branding. Some people are jealous like this. Let me try wrong password first. The spirit will give me that hint. That hint we did yesterday. Can I bring out that hint? Oh, that hint should be for username when you want to try to sign. Benga. So for those that are using people's tenants, you can decide to buy your domain and just add it to that tenant, but let the owner know that you are adding a domain to their tenants, because if I just wake up one day, see a strange domain in my tenant too, I might yank it off. If you have the money, you can buy it. It's not too much. I think we purchased that one yesterday, 7,000 plus. And somebody said, is it Blue House or Blue something that is more cheaper? Why is it taking forever to load? I'm saying it's just doing MTN since. Okay, so if you remember yesterday, I said if you want to add your domain without adding your DNS record, just want to verify it here so that you'll be able to create users, to be able to access Teams, maybe SharePoint and other Microsoft application. And you have your mail server somewhere else, either on-prem, Google, Zoho, or whichever mail server that is hosting your email, and you want them to make use of Microsoft um, applications also. If that is what you are trying to achieve, what you did yesterday is the end of your own configuration. However, if you come to the admin center, you keep saying incomplete setup because we did not add our DNS record, but we added this guy to the tenant. If you create this guy as email now and you send email to the email address, the email will not get delivered. You will get an error message because you don't have an MX record and other domain um, DNS configuration and not done for this user. So we'll be starting this evening by completing our configuration for the DNS. So at any point, if you are confused, please let me know. So I can click on this guy and say continue setup, or I click on this guy, I'll still see my continue setup. So this was where we stopped yesterday. We remember yesterday after we were able to add the domain. This was where we stopped. More options. Then we click continue. We added our domain. So add records. So if we look at it, the first thing we have here is the exchange and exchange online protection. Everything that has to do with emails, everything that has to do with emails is what we'll be doing here. So we'll be doing our MX record, we'll be doing our TXT record, which is for SPF, and we'll be doing our C name record, which is for auto discover, and there's C name 2 that we'll be doing also for DKIM domain key. So that is also very important, and we'll be doing everything tonight. Hopefully they sync immediately without having to give us a lot of errors. So for exchange, you can see the MX, the C name. This is the MX record. This is the C name record for auto discover. What does auto discover do? Okay, let me start with MX record. MX record is your identity over the internet that routes your email from internet to your mailbox. So probably you might see people, they tell you, I can send emails, but I'm not receiving any email. They can always come to check their MX record because you don't have anybody representing you on the internet to move your email from the internet to that user's mailbox. Or if your MX record is pointing somewhere, that is where your email will be routed. If you remember from the start, from the beginning, I mentioned it. If you have your mail server elsewhere, you don't need to add your MX record to Microsoft. Once you add your MX record to Microsoft, your email will no longer be routed to your previous mail server. It will start coming straight to this guy. It will start coming to Microsoft. While the auto discover, it is used by the client app to connect Outlook, Teams. They use this auto discover to connect. If you don't configure your auto discover, you'll not be able to use a lot of the client app. You keep getting errors upon errors. They won't connect. So the auto discover is also needed. And we have our TXT record. So our TXT record is for SPF. So what is SPF? That is left to you to get the full meaning. But majorly it is for spoofing, to prevent spoofing. If I want to send email, let's assume I went to get an application now and I decide to send email as ini@wisdomware.com, and it's not ini that is sending it. By the time you receive that email, your domain server will flag it to let you know, and there's chances that it will even deliver to your junk mailbox because the email is not sent as in. So if I configure my spoof here, if I send email as in the original user, it will get delivered to you. But if you don't configure it, then people will easily spoof you. These days there are a lot of issues with Microsoft. People say they are getting invites, they just receive invites, they see that they are sending emails, they went to check connectors and others, and they see that that email is not directly from their account, but people are receiving it as if they are the one that send it. So that's also, you can set up your DKIM, your DMARC for that on, and also on your tenant there is what we call direct send. You can always disable the direct send. The direct send is actually meant for you using a third party app because Microsoft does not support bulk emails. So if you want to use third party application, you need that direct send. So people already know that that feature is available. They will now pick your MX record and go to start sending email as if you are the one. They will use direct send. All I just need is your domain. I can go to MX Toolbox to get your MX record. I'll put it in that application and start sending email as if it were you. But if I disable the direct send, then the user will not be able to send those emails. Am I too fast? Do you get my explanation?
Explain again.
Lovina, I sure die. Lovina. I know it's Lovina. That voice I had. So let me start from the beginning again. I said if you don't want your emails to be routed to Microsoft, you have the option to do so. You can easily uncheck this guy, which means you are saying that you don't want your email to come to Microsoft. You already have your email hosted somewhere. However, if you want your email to be routed to Microsoft, there are some configuration that needs to be done. So one is the MX record, which is what we are seeing here. So the MX record represents you on the internet. It's like World Summit that the World Bank Summit that they do annually. Every country have their representative there. So if they call Nigeria or if they call the UK representative will do what? Will respond. But if they don't have any representative there, if they call Nigeria, then there won't be anybody. However, irrespective, if I'm a Nigerian origin and I'm UK citizen, probably I'm now the what is it called now? I have maybe any position for any reason, I need to represent UK. Don't forget, I'm in Nigeria by origin. But there, if they call UK, what will I say? I will answer. If they call Nigeria, it's none of my business because presently I'm representing UK. So the same thing with this record. So if you don't have the MX record there, if they send email to you, wherever you have your MX, that is where your emails will deliver to. It won't deliver to Microsoft. But once you configure your MX, what you are saying is, I don't want to represent Nigeria, I'm representing UK. So all these emails that have been going to Nigeria before come straight down to UK. You will get a new mailbox in Microsoft, and your emails will be routed to Microsoft. Lovina, do you get that part?
Yes, but what are the examples of MS record apart from Microsoft?
Example of MX record.
You say that if like if you don't choose Microsoft, you can choose another one. What's the other ones someone can choose? Like if I don't want to use
So
Microsoft.
this your MX. This your MX. If you are using Google, you have MX. If you are using Zoho, you have MX. If you are using AWS, you have MX. Any mail server you must have MX configure. This guy is what will bring your email. If I send email to probably I've sent email to a user before, then you get a non-delivery response that the user does not exist or user not found. They will look for that guy in your MX record. They will go to that guy. They will look for the guy here. Your email address, they will look for it here. If they don't see it, then you get a response that they look for this guy, but this guy is not found in. I don't know if you have sent email and you get such response before. They will tell you that this guy is not found in. They will put the domain address there, which means through our MX, we deliver this guy to the MX. The MX went to look for that mailbox. It did not see it and did what? Return the NDR to you that the user is not found. So, irrespective of any mail server you are using, for you to be able to receive emails, you must have this guy configured. You get it?
Yes, understand. Thank you.
You're welcome. So this second one deals with clients app, majorly Outlook. For you to be able to connect your mailbox to Outlook, you need this auto discover. You need this auto discover, and there are some hybrid configuration wizard that also depend on this auto discover. So if you don't configure it, then auto discover will not work. If you are running hybrid configuration wizard, you need this auto discover also. And the last part is your SPF, which I explained earlier for spoofing. is a spoofing protection, so you don't get spoofed. Though there are still some advanced mechanism that needs to be put in place to also avoid spoofing, which is direct send is one of it. And I mentioned DKIM and DMARC also. DKIM is for emails that you are sending out. DMARC are for emails that you are receiving. So all these configurations they work hand in hand. So these three guys now, majorly these three guys are what you needed the most for Exchange to work. However, we have other DNS records. If you look at this place, you see Skype for business, though people hardly use Skype, so we don't have any Intune. We don't have any business configuring Skype for business. But if you look at this guy, Intune and mobile device management, if you have heard of Intune or MDM, I believe everybody should have heard of it. Intune and MDM in Microsoft 365. I believe everybody should have heard of it. So you need to do some configuration also for it to work. If I check the box now, you see they will provide me with some record as well that I needed to add. You can see. So the last one is our DKIM. You can see domain keys identifier. If we don't configure your DKIM here, you can also go back to use PowerShell to configure it. If you go to your security admin center, also you can do some configuration from there to get your DKIM done. But it is always advisable you just run that guy from here. See, if I click on this also, see they provide us with keys that we need to enter to verify from our domain host. So now I'll go to our domain host. Where is that guy? I think this is the guy. So he's still here since yesterday. Let me refresh. So we still have our guy here. Any question? Any question from anybody? Any question? This one everywhere. Since yesterday, everywhere is just keeping quiet. What is happening? Any question? And what happened? What kills the Wura vibes? Is it excess information that kills the Wura and Alimat? Or is it yes, Nimat? Is that what kill you guys vibe? I know when we started, your vibes or you guys were full of energy. All of a sudden, what happened? War happened. So all what I'm doing is the information provided here. I'm trying to copy them to the domain host. You can see all what you have here. So this guy, the host name is at priority 0 TTL 1R. Can we see it here? So we'll go to our domain host. So I've put our host name TTL. I think what we have currently is 1 hour. I think this guy is 1 hour. So let's change it to MX. You can see that when we change it to MX now, it's added value and priority. So we'll paste that guy we copied. Don't forget our priority is 0. So let me go back again, see what you have here. So let me come back here so we can get it. You see, host name at the address or value, priority 0, and TTL is an R. Okay, so click on save changes. Hopefully this guy works, but let's see. So the next one after the MX is our C name, the auto discover. So the name is auto discover and is also an 1R. Host name auto discover. discover.outlook.com. Type CNAME. Okay, so add our CNAME. Which other one? Next, TXT record. The host name is at. Please, if you don't understand anything or you think you are lost, please let me know before we reach the end, because I will not be able to reverse again once we verify this DNS. If you have any question, you can ask. Okay, so let's go to our Intune. Name. That is one. So let's go to the second one. Okay. So the next one, Dickim. Selector 1 and selector 2. This guy is still coming back to it. Selector 2. Okay, so I think we're done adding all. So we are done adding all. Can refresh. Okay. We have 2MX. How do we get 2MX? There will be conflicts, but let me still click on next. There will be conflicts. You click on continue now. Think somewhere there, somewhere not. So you can see every other record is fine. Just our MX, and it's giving us only one MX record can be used. You see, that's conflict I'm saying. You can see this place. I don't know how the guy duplicated these two guys, 1 and 2. So you have to take off one. What happened? I thought I'd take off one just now. Hey, something's happening. Let me take off one again. Okay, I think we are good now. Hopefully, I did not delete another record aside from the one. Oh, in that error. The record was detected does not match all the expected values. Okay, still the same MX record. So what value do we have? Okay, I know what to do. Let's delete this guy completely. So we don't have any MX again. Let's recreate MX record. Okay, so we have a new MX. Fresh. Let's go back to our guy. Continue. Okay, I think we are done now. Not sure there's any error again. What happened? So we are good. So all our DNS have been configured. Do you have any confusion? Any confusion or question? Any confusion or question? Let me start calling him. Mr. Olufemi Adebanjo. Any confusion? Any confusion or question? This one you guys just left me to be talking to myself since. Dewura, Omoboye, Sunday, Olalekan, Ayodeji. You can speak Sunday.
Uh, I'm okay, sir. I missed yesterday class, but it's what I've already done before. I already had a domain which I set up on my tenant, and it's working.
Okay,
Sir.
that's fine then. So let's continue. At least I got one person to talk. So our domain setup is complete. She stop showing incomplete. She show LD. Refresh. Okay, you can see showing LD now compared to what we had before when it was showing us incomplete setup. So we have our new domain added. So we can now go back to our users and update our domain. So I want to update multiple users. Can everybody see what I'm doing for multiple users? So I'm changing domain for multiple users out to this from the admin center for multiple users. Done. Can you see? The email address have changed. The email address have changed. You can see 1, 2, and 3 for these users. So I think we're actually done with few things that we want to talk in the Microsoft Admin Center. And the last part is health. Health. So there is to be some issue directly from Microsoft that is not from your end. Once you have done some basic troubleshooting and you see that the issue is not going, or before it starts, there are some strange occurrence that you yourself know that this is strange. Like users can tell you that I tried to open my account. I went to office.com, but I was unable to open my account. I did all I could, but yet I'm unable to open my account. And you are very sure that everything is fine on that account. You come to the back end, admin center, you check everything is fine. It's always better you come to the health center to see. Like if you look at this place, users may be unable to view Microsoft Purview e-discovery in progress exports. This one is Exchange. Some organizer may see mandatory labeling is not applying when creating new meeting. So you see a lot of advisory and service incidents. A lot of advisory and service incidents. I think there is one with the Microsoft 365 app. Let's see what is there. Users may be unable to install Microsoft 365 desktop app on Windows devices. Can you see this now? Now, you as admin, you now start troubleshooting. You downloaded the software. It did not install. I have done this one. You go and uninstall, reboot. You might even go as far as creating a new domain profile, a new Windows profile for the person. Meanwhile, the issue is not from your end. The issue is from Microsoft's end. You can see. So it is always good you come to this guy to check updates. There is to be a lot of updates here. It will save you a lot of stress while checking this place. So any question before we proceed? Any question? Any question? Make on ask or somebody drop a message. Okay. So let's continue. So we have several other, if you remember when I started, I told you that the Microsoft Admin Center just holds a lot of admin centers that we'll be working with. And one of them is the Exchange Admin Center. So whenever you hear Exchange in Microsoft 365, it has to do with anything that has to do with emails. Emails, that is sending, receiving email, scheduling meetings from your email, your calendar, and others, contacts, global address list, and other things. Everything that has to do with emails comes to this guy here, Exchange. So we have our Microsoft 365 Exchange. So I'll just do some brief introduction and probably do a few things because we came late today. So I'll be closing early too. To every actions, there are consequences. So if you look at the Exchange Admin Center, you will see that only users with mailbox is what we have in mailboxes. The first thing we have is recipients. Almost the same thing with what we have in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, where we have users, active users. But under the active users, we have all users there, irrespective. Either you have license assigned, that is, you have a mailbox or not, you appear there automatically. Automatically, you will see yourself here. Active users. You can see everybody show up here, but only these 3 users that have license assigned, which have mailbox provision, is what we are seeing under mailboxes. These 3 guys, you can see them. That is the only people we have here. So if it comes to groups, the same way we have it in the admin center, we have everything here likewise, including the dynamic distribution group that I mentioned yesterday. And the difference between this distribution list and dynamic distribution list is dynamic distribution list, people are added automatically. It's not something you add people manually. It just sets your condition. You set the condition of adding people to the group. Maybe you want to add everybody that has title, job title, HR, job title, marketing, or those every users that have mailbox in the organization, or every external users. Just say you should add them to that dynamic distribution list. You don't need to manually do that. So that is the difference between the dynamic distribution list and the conventional distribution list that we have here. So today we'll be starting majorly with our mailboxes. So there are some and configuration settings and a lot of configuration that we can do from the Exchange Admin Center that we don't have in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. If you go to the Microsoft 365 Admin Center, there are some settings you'll be referred back to the Exchange Admin Center. Let's click on this guy. If you click on mail, so there are some changes that can be done here. You can see for more action, you can see if I click on this more actions now, it will take me to the Exchange Admin Center. Interesting. This guy is here now. Let me see. This guy, before we click on it, it takes you to the Exchange Admin Center. I know edit additional property takes you here. Microsoft keep updating things. You can see, so it's brought us back to the previous Exchange Admin Center where we are. So if you come to the Exchange Admin Center, you click on your mailbox, there are a lot of functions that we don't have in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center that we have in the Exchange Admin Center. If you remember, we also have our contacts information from the Microsoft 365 Admin Center. We have our email, but we don't have this guy there. We don't have this guy there. And if we look at it, I think we also have this guy too in the show us some of this guy in the Microsoft 365 Admin Center organization, where we have our contact info. We have delegation also in the admin center, but it gave it different name entirely. You can see read and manage permission, sender, send on behalf. But here we have senders and we have the read and manage full access permission, just the way we have it at the other end. Then we have other mailbox configuration, size restriction. We have mail forwarding from the other end also. Message delivery restriction. We can configure it from here. We have our MRM and our role assignment policy. So we'll be picking them one after the other. We'll be picking them one after the other to do some of the configuration we have here. So if you remember when I was talking about licenses, I said the kind of license assigned to your mailbox will determine the kind of mailbox that is provisioned for you. When we are talking about the F1, F3, and F5, if you remember vividly. So this guy now has exchange plan one license. That's why you are seeing this 49.5 gigabyte, that is 50 gig mailbox assigned to this user. And out of the 50 gig that is assigned, this guy have used 0.02 kilobytes out of it. So if I need to expand this guy's mailbox now, two things can be done. If we don't want additional to pay additional money or to incur additional cost, I can decide to enable archive for this guy and says email with so condition move to archive. Or I can get exchange plan too, then to increase the mailbox size, and that will also increase the archive size. However, if I don't want users in this organization to see this guy from the global address list, I can always come here to do what? Click on manage. I can say hide this guy from global address list, which means if you search for this guy in Outlook, it won't show up. So let's save. Then after some minutes, we'll go to look for this guy in Outlook and see what happens. So we can do email forwarding. Email forwarding means I want email sent to this guy, any copy of email sent to this guy to go directly to another mailbox. And one of the limitation of forwarding is mail forwarding will not work for more than two mailboxes. What am I trying to say? If I say email from this guy should be forwarded to INE, so INE can say from, probably INE also have this configuration that any emails that come in should move to Tara. Once the email move from here to INE and move from INE to Tara, if Tara has forwarding, that email will not forward again. Which is one of the limitation of email forwarding. And when you are configuring email forwarding, you can't add more than one email. You can only add one email, and you have two options while adding it. You have two options, either to keep a copy in your mailbox or just forward the entire email. Let me do external. Okay, my external email address. Can you see deliver message to both forwarding address and mailbox, which means save a copy in my own mailbox and forward a copy to the email address I have listed here. Forward a copy to the email address I have listed here. So that is what I'm trying to say. But if you check this guy, if you don't check this guy, sorry, see, if you don't check this guy, any email sent to this mailbox will just be forwarded to this guy. You won't see a copy in your mailbox. Are we getting it? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello? Mr. Sunday, you are the only one answering. I want somebody else to answer, not in. Where's Lovina? Lovina left already.
Yeah.
Oh, so your name went to the second page.
No, my
Yeah,
router
this is
went.
this is the person I've been looking for. Aminat Anima Shaun. I've been looking for this person for a while. What happened? I've not seen her in some classes. Anima Shaun.
I am here. Oh.
What happened? You missed some classes.
No, I
No,
was around last week now. Was it
last
on
week.
Sun? No, I missed Saturday. There was no class on Sunday last week. So but I mixed last week Saturday. But I was available yesterday. I was
Yeah,
in class
okay.
yesterday.
because I've been looking for that name. It was you, Nimat, and Dewura that were active when we started. Now Dewura, only God knows what happened. When you become big, all of a sudden, that's what used to happen. When the money we enter your account, don't pass within you the expect. So Dewura did not even answer us again. So let me continue. Hope you are getting it. If I'm too fast or you are confused, please let me know. If I'm too fast or you are confused, please let me know. So I'm just trying to pick points, everything that we need to talk about so that we'll be able to cover everything for November. Because we don't have any. Okay, I think we still have wow. So we have 1 weekend more in November. Wait, oh, this Saturday. No. Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday. So we still have 2 weekends more. That is, we're still going to meet 4 times this month after today. Okay, so we still have a bit of time. So I'm trying to be as fast as I can. If I'm able to cover up for everything, probably we can just do a brief introduction in Azure. Then we end there. If that is if. So as I was saying earlier, so this email forwarding, it has two phases to it. If you don't check the option to keep a message in your mailbox, it just asks it to be forwarded. A copy of the message that was sent to you will not be kept in your mailbox. It will be forwarded to the other mailbox that you specify, and it's not reversible. If that email has been forwarded to that guy and I say no, I want a copy in my mailbox, is not reversible. It can't be done. So before setting up the configuration, you have to know the do and don'ts that needed to be done before you do your configuration. I'm very sure most people will check the option to keep a copy in their mailbox. However, some people, because their mailbox is filled up, or they are currently not at work, or for one reason or the other, they might not check this option. They just want those emails to be forwarded directly to the email specified here, to the external email, and they can do what? Do their forwarding. Don't forget, forwarding don't work for encrypted emails. Forwarding don't work for encrypted emails. Maybe if we get there when we are trying, we have business basic. I'm not sure we can do encryption and so on, but I'll try as much as I can. So this is how encryption works. I'm sending email to Dewura, depending on the kind of encryption I have. So who should receive my email is Dewura. If anybody decides to intercept that email along the way, you might receive the email, you might copy the email, but if you try to open the email, that's why in some instances you will see some figures that are not making sense. If you try to open your email, you see some things maybe like Arabic, like some words that does not even make any sense together. So if you configure a forwarding for an encrypted email, maybe the email is sent to INI and INI has a forwarding that it should be forwarded to Dewura. Dewura will receive that email, but she will not be able to open it. So at times they will not start asking what is happening. Why is this user receive an email and they are unable to open the email because the email is not, they are not the main recipient of that email. That email was being forwarded. Also, there are some emails that are the encryption does not allow forwarding. So we don't check the option to keep a copy. If the email is sent, the sender will get a an NDR, a non-delivery response, that the email did not get delivered, and it will give you the reasons why it did not get delivered, because that encryption prohibits the use of forwarding. It can't be forwarded to somebody else. I don't know if you have gone online before, you try to download some PDF, and after downloading it, it will ask for codes, and some, even if you are able to download them, you can't copy. You can't copy them. And for those that use bank apps a lot, there are some banks app or some space in your bank app that you can't screenshot. It will tell you it's not allowed. All those things, they are a form of encryption. So that is that about email forwarding. And forwarding cannot be done just from here alone. It can be done from your Outlook inbox through, and can also use Mailflow, or we call it transport through. However, for you to be able to forward email outside the organization, there are some configuration that needs to be done for you to be able to do so. So let me show us two other places that we can do email forwarding. Then we'll know that we are completely done with anything that has to do with email forwarding. So the first thing is, for any user to be able to forward email in an organization, you have to go to your security. So you go to email and collaboration. I know somebody once asked when we started, was saying that we should talk about some issues in Microsoft. That's why I'm picking up those things one after the other so we can get it. Though you have the configuration configured in your mailbox that email should be forwarded outside the organization, but if they don't have it enabled here, the forwarding will not go. The email will not be forwarded. You get a non-delivery response. Though we are still going to talk about all these guys one after the other, but since it has to do with some of the settings we are talking about at the moment, so that's why I came here. If you look at this place, can you see forwarding is set to auto or system controlled? The emails will not be forwarded until you put it here. Until you turn it to on forwarding is enabled. Else, if we try to forward email from, please get me right, if I'm talking about forward, not this forward. Let me open Outlook. See, not this forward I'm talking about. So I'm talking about forwarding. Please get it right. I'm not talking about this forwarding we click from our mailbox. I'm talking about the forwarding from the configuration we have here that we talked about a few minutes ago. This email forwarding. And the one from here, coming, I mean, get this guy off. Rules. So I can add a rule to forward email. Add condition. From action forward to. So I can do my forwarding from this inbox through also. So as I said, if it's not enabled from this guy, I can't forward emails externally. So I've shown us the first place we can configure our email forwarding, which is here. The second one is the inbox shoe, and the third one is Mayflow from our Mayflow rule. You can come here, create a Mayflow rule. We are still going to talk about it in we'll take our time to explain everything about it. So the Mayflow rule is just something like our inbox shoe, but this covers much more, is a broad or organization-wide. It can be used as organization-wide configuration. But if you look at the inbox shoe, it's restricted to your inbox alone within your inbox. But the scope of transport or Mayflow can be used organization-wide for everybody, irrespective. So that is that for forwarding. So any question before we pick any future again in exchange and just talk about it? Any question? Any question? Take all our talk now.
No question.
No question, one person. Others. Okay, that's Sunday. Who else? So let us continue. So let us continue. I'm looking at another feature that we can talk about because I'm actually looking at time. I don't want us to stay long like we did yesterday. So let me see one we can pick again before we go to anime flow and others um since we have this guy open. I think that guy is done from Povi. Okay, so let's talk about something that affects a lot of users. We've talked about forwarding. We've talked about hiding our mailbox from Gal. Please note that there are some configuration that cannot be done in the cloud if the mailbox is synced from on-premise. Let me see if I can open my environment and just show us something. This is my environment. So let me go to Exchange. Pop, 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 pop. So if we look at this admin center, I think I have two sync users. I have this user. Can you see this user? Can we see this user, please? Let me be sure you can see it. Showing synced from on-prem. Can we see it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So if you see it, I think I have two users. Okay, this is the second one. This one do not have mailbox. Sync from on-prem. So these users, they are synced from on-premise. So I want to hide this guy from Exchange. You see that it will get an error because the user identity is managed from on-prem, not in cloud. Then I will not be able to hide that user. This is the user. So if I click on hide mailbox, can you see? Can you see that the option is checked out? Look at the notes.
Yeah.
The mailbox is synchronized from on-premise. So for me to be able to make these changes, I have to go to the local AD to look for the attributes and sync it to the cloud. So what am I trying to explain? Not all these changes that you are seeing here that can be done from the cloud if the mailbox identity is managed on-prem. There are several of them, more than 80% of them, that are done from the local AD and you sync them to the cloud. Also, you can't even change the user email address. You can't change the email address here. You have to go to the on-premise to do so. Say change email address. If I decide to add something, no, not big SMS, be small. Email address. Chiguzo one at infg.com. So it's not even giving me option. Let me put this guy. Let me try to save. Yeah, save. You can see the error. These are some of the error people get. They will reach out to you. I'm trying to add alias to a mailbox and I'm getting this. You see, failed because it's out of the current user right scope. The action set mailbox can't be performed on the object. The object is being synchronized from your on-premise organization. The action should be performed on the object in your on-premise organization. Can you see? Even the email address, both the big and the smaller SMTP, you can't perform any action on this guy. You have to go to your local AD to perform those actions and sync it to the cloud. So I'm just letting us know there are some things that cannot be done in the cloud for sync users. It has to be drawn from our on-premise. So one of the things we want to talk about now is one of the concerns that people do get while they are trying to manage users mailbox. So I'll be moving to archive. And if any other thing comes to my mind around mailbox attributes, then we'll talk about it one after the other. See, we are done with anything that has to do with mailbox. Then we'll go to resources because I believe okay, we can go to group, create a dynamic 365 group. Then from there we'll go to resources. So I'm clicking on others. If you look at this guy you now have archive enabled. So I think this is the guy we sign in now. Yeah, Tara Diwura. I think these are accounts. If you look at this place, you can see that there is nothing like archive here for now. All what you have is just the mailbox. So now we want to enable archive for the mailbox. So we'll come to this place and do what? Click on manage mailbox archive. You can also use PowerShell to enable the archive, the set mailbox option. So here, you can decide to give it a name or not. You can decide to give it a name or not. If I click on save, automatically it will still appear, but the name is not compulsory. Archive is enabled. If we look at it now, enabled. Well, immediately. It will take some time to show up, especially if there is no emails to move to the archive.
24 hours to 48 hours.
Yes, only if there are emails or if you run start manage folder, blah blah blah, to force it, then it will show up here. So while we have enabled our archive, emails don't move to this archive automatically. There are some other things that needs to be done for these emails to move to archive. So I think we'll stop there on archive till when our archive provisioned, because if I just go ahead to explain to us, create a retention tag and retention policy without seeing the emails, we might not get it right. So let's just wait for our archive to provision. Then we'll continue regarding archive. So I'm looking for another attributes that we can pick, or if any of them comes to your mind, just let me know. Then we can pick it from there and continue. Okay, so let me not assume we know this also. So there is mailbox delegation, either a shared mailbox or a primary mailbox. Mailbox delegation is I want to give a user access to my mailbox. I want a user to be able to perform some actions in my mailbox. So the first one we have at the top here is the sender's permission. If I should give a user a sender's permission to my mailbox, the user will not be able to see anything in my mailbox, anything I have in my mailbox, but the person can send email as if I'm the one that is sending it. If an email is sent from that person's end now, let's say to Joseph, Joseph will receive it as if I'm the one that sent that email. But if I come to send on behalf, permission, that is why I give the person send on behalf permission. If the person sends email, Joseph will receive it that this email is sent on behalf of, this email is sent by this person on behalf of this person. Let's say it's sent by Tara on behalf of Diura. So you will see that the email is sent on behalf of that person. So senders will not show that the email is sent on behalf of that person. It will show as if it's the owner of that email address that sent those emails. But if you do send on behalf, it will show that I'm the one that sent that email on behalf of the owner of the mailbox. And the last part of it is the read and manage full access. If we are given only read and manage full access, you can view everything in the mailbox. You can view, you can even delete, but you can't send email. You can't send email. You need the senders or the send on behalf permission for you to be able to send email if you are given access to that mailbox. And when we are talking about access, delegation did not just stop here. There are some other delegation that can be given to user. They call it folder level permission that can be given to user. Let me come to my Outlook. So in my entire Outlook now, if I want to give a user access to just my inbox, I want to give you access to my inbox only. I don't want you to see any other thing aside from inbox. There are some organizations that have some shared mailbox. They want the users that have access to that shared mailbox. They don't want them to have access to deleted items. They don't want them to have access to deleted items or for them to be able to delete any of the email inside that shared mailbox. They don't want them to be able to delete the email inside that shared mailbox. So there are some PowerShell you can run that will be folder-based permission. You can send email from that shared mailbox. You can see the email, but you cannot delete the email. You cannot delete the email. If you work for a big organization, let's assume we have our sales info shared mailbox, and we have maybe hundreds of people that has access to that shared mailbox. You know, there are some deletion that will take place, and everybody will tell you that I'm not the one, I'm not the one. I'm not the one, I'm not the one. You have to start running audit log for you to know who actually deletes it. And when such occurrence happen again and again, you might look for a permanent means to do what? To fix it. One of the permanent way to fix it is what I just said now, but is a PowerShell that I use to run it. However, so what am I trying to say? Aside from the original mailbox delegation access, that can give the person access to send email on your behalf, view your entire folders that you have, or send email as you. Then you can also do the folder level permission to that users also. You see the see sharing and permission. You can see. So if I click on the sharing and permission now, whatever permission I give you here will determine what you can do with my inbox folder. Don't forget, I'm only giving you access to my inbox folder. Look at it. Look at the top here. Inbox folder only. Every other thing in my mailbox, you are not going to see it. You won't see my draft, you won't see my sent item, my junks, my deleted item, my default archive that I come to. Every other thing, you will not see it. Only just this folder that I gave you permission to is what you'll be seeing. And it all depends on the kind of permission I give that will determine the kind of action that I can do what, that you can take on that. Do we understand?
I'll explain again. Sure. Yes, we understand.
Why is everybody sounding tired and confused?
Explain again. I was trying to do archive then.
You're trying to enable archive.
Yeah, I've done it.
Okay. An application error occurred on the server. The current custom error settings application prevents the details of what exactly is this person trying to do. Default direct attribute application. We have to know what the person is trying to do exactly before we can say anything. Because this thing is looking like what is it called now? Hybrid configuration error. Like hybrid wizard error. Where is it not loading? My sister, this one is not something we troubleshoot here. Oh. Okay, so that is that for folder permission level. So this most of these things it might skip your mind when you need it the most. That's why we keep saying that you should do a documentation, post it on LinkedIn. The reason why you are posting it there, aside from for your profile to be active, you are using it as a means of keeping documenting your things and keeping it in the cloud. LinkedIn is a free cloud that you are not paying for. If you are putting it in your OneDrive at a point, the free allocated size given to you will be filled up and you will need to do or to delete something. But if you put it on LinkedIn, it's always there. You can always scroll to go and look for your folder or your documentation and pick whatever information that is needed to pick. So that is just a brief explanation of email delegation. Email delegation. I believe we all get it since there is no question. Any other question?
This good. Okay, the orders. The first they wrote recover deleted items and it is blank. Does it mean that the person does not have access to recover deleted items?
I'm coming. Let me look for where you are sent. So
Orders. After members, general organization, delegation, members, the orders.
yeah,
When I
recover deleted items. Make we come
yeah,
here now. This deleted item. Nothing.
why
What do you
like
want to recover?
can no what I mean is that is there can't it be deleted or was it on certain or I don't know.
And that's what I'm saying.
Why
There's
is it
nothing for us to recover. So
There's
oh,
something.
this guy that is grayed out is because there is nothing for us to recover. If we go to these other guys, I think Chibuzo should have emails to delete. Can you see? So it will ask us from where to where. I mean this
okay.
and it will search. I'm not sure it can go beyond 90 days. Apply filter. There's no email. It's not bringing anything. So majorly, this guy is not even used to recover emails that we have here. That we have here. It's emails that is no longer available here. Emails that is no longer available here. That is what we use this guy for. Do you get emails that are no longer available to the user at their own end is no longer available, but you are trying to recover those emails, which means they have been permanently deleted from the user's end. Then you can use this guy to recover those emails. Hopefully, if you have any form of hold on that mailbox, and that also will still get there. For those that are avoiding PowerShell, there's no how we will do. We go still run PowerShell because most of these things that we need to explain is PowerShell that we use to explain them.
Okay.
So, another question then before we proceed again. Okay, so if there is no question, our archive is still yet provision. So that will be tomorrow. So let's pick the auto replies. Auto reply. Who knows what the meaning of auto reply and other names that they do call it? Auto reply.
Auto reply is it not like that sometimes when bank send you a mail, kind of you're going to see when you receive the mail, you're going to see two something like yes or no. So you can click in any of them. Then there's no other option. You can see that.
Okay, thank you. Who else wants to try auto reply?
For instance, when you are out of the office and
Yeah.
leave here, when you're out of the office and you set an auto reply, like when they send you an email to just give them a response depending on what you set. It's like an auto reply so that they will know that you're out of the office.
Thank you. Omo Boye. Thank you, Aminat.
Good evening. Auto reply is automatic response to a mail, be it whether you're out of office or maybe like you have maybe like a customer service email box that you send an email, so there's an automatic response basically just to acknowledge the mail.
Okay. Thank you. We all speak. You are all right. So, auto replies, majorly what people use it for most is OOO, out of office. So if you be going on leave or you are going on break for some hours or for some days, you can set automatic reply. That those are the message you get that this user is not available, is currently on leave till by December. Now you start seeing that message flying almost everywhere. And one of the things about auto reply is this: number one, you can set mailbox forwarding and auto reply. Is either you disable forwarding and enable auto reply, or disable auto reply and enable forwarding. You can't do both simultaneously. Let me say in Microsoft 365, you can't do both simultaneously. It's either you pick one and you disable the other. Are we still together? Everywhere went quiet again. Are we still together?
Yes, yes, we are. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So if you look at this place now, you can see it give us dates to set, and it said us to put our message that we want to send. Look at this, reply to senders inside the organization from this mailbox, this message to users inside. You can decide to say you want to use one reply for everybody, one auto reply for everybody, or you can decide to separate it. You can decide to separate it whichever way you like it. However, this guy will not work. Aside from forwarding, there is still other configuration that needs to be done for this guy to work. Who can guess? Who can guess? Make una talk now. Who can guess? Just guess. Any idea? There are still some other things that needs to be done for that guy to work. Let's talk now. Who can guess? It's not what I'm doing, no. I mean, I'm just checking something else. Checking things that are available for business basic that we can do, we can actually work with. So I'm still waiting for our response. Let's talk now. Who can guess now? This one, everybody is quiet. You have your phone, you can Google now. Now, wow. Everybody just keep quiet. Can you see this place? Since nobody wants to say anything. Can you see this place? Myself, I will not bother explaining.
Yes.
You can see this place. Allow out of office. If at times, if this guy is blank or this guy is set to internal only, if it's set out of office reply, only internal user will get it. External user will not get it. And you see a lot of people keep asking you, I set out of reply, but people outside our organization, they are not getting it. These are some of the things you need to look out for. These are some of the things you need to look out for. Okay, oh, this one we all kept quiet. So the next thing that we'll be looking at, let's see. We've talked about auto replies. We've
I didn't
said
understand the external. No,
what is it?
well, can you repeat what you said about allow OF? Allowed OF type. My own is external is what
Out
I'm
of
seeing there.
You can see out of office auto reply types. None. Can you see it?
Yes.
Allow only external out of office reply. Allow external and legacy out of office box. Allow internal out of. Are you getting? So if I set this guy to none, nobody will get it. If I set it to this guy, only internal people will get it. External people will not get it. So by default, it's always there.
I understand. Okay.
You can check your own also. Check it from your end.
It's external is there.
It's a yes, by default, it's always at external. So a lot of people don't even know that this configuration is there. I have people that are battle with it. They've given up. So they have to go and set transport through. Anytime a user is going on holiday, they inform the IT that they'll go and set transport through. And that reminds me, one of the limitation of um auto reply is this: it's only reply to you to the first email that you are sending to that mailbox that has the auto reply configured. Only the first email that you will get a reply that the user is out of office. Any other email you are sending for that day, you will not get that response again. Only the first response that you get the auto reply. So I've mentioned 3 things that we need to consider if auto reply is not working. One, auto reply only works as in once the first email that is sent to the auto reply mailbox that you get auto reply. Two, we need to check this configuration out. Three, auto forwarding and auto replies don't work together. You see these two guys that are behind each other or beneath each other, you can see they don't work hand in hand. You have to use one while you keep one. You can't use both together. You can't have OF and still have auto forwarding. Both of them don't work together. Only one at a time. Do we get it now? Do we get it? Lovina?
Yes. It's clear, but please can you come again with the other parts? One, you talked about the first email. Are you referring to a single mailbox or
A
of that
single,
specific recipient, or
if I
regardless
send,
of?
okay, you can go ahead. Just land. You can go ahead,
Okay.
Ini.
So I'm asking, is it just a single recipient? When I send a mail and I get the auto reply, and if I keep sending email, I don't get auto reply, or regardless of it coming from a single recipient, it just goes out once.
Every recipient only gets it once. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right.
Every
Thank you.
recipient. Once you send email, only the first email will get a response. After that, for that day, you will not get a response again. The following day, once you send your first email again, any recipient, you only get that response once. And after that, you are not going to get it again. You are not going to get it. Thank you, Uni. I understand. You just want me to bring clarification to that. So, any other question? Then let's see another thing we can talk about in the remaining 15 minutes that we have. Then we can proceed. So next week, if you have exchange related issues, bring them. Beware. We'll talk about what happened. Where are my mailboxes? Battery is almost down. Okay. Welcome back, mailboxes. So we've talked about auto replies. Old. We are still coming to this old. This old will go on a lot of. We've talked about archive. Should we go to mate tips? Let's still hold on because that one we still need to talk about output tips and others. So I think we'll stop here. So we have what we call the custom attributes. If you remember when I was talking about dynamic distribution list or distribution group, I said users can be added to the group using some conditions specified. So if you go to the users, every users in a dynamic group, they have something in common, and is what they have in common that is the condition they meet to be added to that dynamic distribution group. So if you want to add users to it and they don't have these unique attributes, all the users that needed to be added, they don't have these unique attributes, you can come and create a custom attribute for those users. So while creating your Dynamics 365 group, you will specify the custom attributes that was set for all these users, and with it, they will be added to that Dynamic 365 group. This feature is also available in local AD. This feature is also available in local AD, that you can specify it for sync users, and automatically the Dynamic 365 group in cloud will pick those guys and add them to the group. When you get to the groups, we'll do some action, just few things. So it's just an addition or extension of attributes or needed or added information to a user that is not provided by Microsoft. You don't have any of the option in any of the attributes, contact information. You don't have it there, but you needed those guys to have a unique attribute that you can use to add them to the Dynamic 365 group. Then you can make use of the custom attributes to do so. So the opposite, what we have opposite is, if you come to members of every group that these users belong, you will see it here. I think we have it in Microsoft 365 Admin Center also. I think we have it somewhere. Okay, this is it. Look at it, groups. Every group the user belongs to, you see it here. If the user belongs to 20 group, everything you see it here. That's the same thing we have here. All the group that the user belongs to, you see it here. So next week we'll continue with archive. While we talk about the archive, then we'll now talk about different odes. And from odes, we can now go to exchange online limits. There are a lot of limits in exchange online that people need to know that they don't know, both sending, receiving, email size, attachment size, everything that you need to know about the exchange online limits on and how to control them. We'll talk about them next week, Saturday. Hopefully, people will join early. Today we have, I think it's 7:03. It was I and Ini. It was around 7:04, 7:05 that Ayodiji joined us. Then before that started coming in, one after the other. That kind of turnout is actually not encouraging. I have said, assuming we waited to 7:15 and we only have just 4 of us, we don't have up to 5 people, I will have just do what? Just stay in my house and continue my rest. I'll stay in my house and continue my rest. And wherever we need to discuss this week, that is gone. I'll just assume we've done it. Then we'll just continue from something else next week. But well, God having his way, people came online and they joined. So we'll be stopping here for today. If you have any questions, please go ahead. If you have any questions, please go ahead. Any question?
Sorry. The automatic reply. Can it still be set? I'm trying to on this from that order, like, because the one he did, it was from the I saw it somewhere.
From these others, this
Yeah,
auto reply.
yes.
These others now, these under others. Where you can set it again is admin center. I think you have it somewhere in admin center. Let me remember where we have it. We have it somewhere here. Or is it auto reply we have here or forwarding? Let me check. It's for admin center also.
So can you click this one in others? I want to, yes. I'm seeing box where you have to kind of put description. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah,
This one.
this is from the admin center, not from the exchange admin center. The exchange admin center is one that give us the option for dates and others there, and it gave us more options. Yeah, I think we have 3 options in the exchange admin center. Here we have 2 options.
Okay.
You see, this gave us option for dates. You can set the dates and others. Yeah, and you can see we have 3 options there. But in the admin center, we only have 2 options.
Mm. So the empty boxes, is it like where you are going to write what the
Your
reply you
message.
want
Yes.
message
What do you reply you want those people to get?
to get?
You get it now. It's still the
Yes.
same thing. One is just from exchange, one is from the admin center.
Okay, but for if you want to, set it for the entire, let me say if it's organization, for instance, that closes during the Xmas. Okay, let me say school, for instance, that have break where nobody will be in the office. Are you going to be, how do you set it so that it will be, the effect will take in all the staff? Are you going to, or will you put all the staffs in one particular group, then you set it, or you're doing it one after the other?
You have 2 options. You can use PowerShell to set it for everybody. As in
Okay.
everybody in the organization, you can use PowerShell to set it for them. However, you don't need to stress yourself. If you remember when I was explaining the difference between inbox rule and mail flow or transport rule, I said inbox rule, it's only within your mailbox, but transport rule or mail flow rule, it works for the entire organization. So for the entire organization, you can create a mail flow rule that any emails coming from outside the organization, reply them with this response. We'll still get there though. You will say reply them with this response. Let me see if I can just quickly show you though. I still have to explain how transport through entirely works by itself. Just want us to jump a bit. Rules. If I say add rules, create new Rovina. Rovina, she get the tenant herself. The sender, you see, internal, external. So I will now choose now if the user is outside the organization. I click save. Then do the following. Apply a disclaimer. Notify the recipient with a message. Sure, you see. So I'll write my message here. Anything I write here now, the user will get it. You can see the condition. If the sender is external, internal, external, but we now said not in the organization, which means external is outside the organization, do the following. Notify the recipients with a message. This message that I type. Lovina, do you get it?
Yes.
So this now will work for everybody, irrespective of the user. So far, the person is within this organization. Once you send email to them, you get this response.
Okay.
Are you good?
Yes. Okay.
Okay. So any other question before we call it a day? Any other question? We'll get there. Aminat, we'll get there. That's why I said, no matter how I try, we'll still run PowerShell. I'm just trying to avoid PowerShell because of people that said it's confusing. But the more I try um to leave PowerShell, the more I see reasons why we have to use PowerShell. We want to create a resource mailbox now. There are still some other parts that cannot be done with GUI. We still have to use PowerShell to complete some of the actions. So we'll be doing it one after the other. When you get there, we'll do it. All the resource mailbox, room mailbox, how to create our room list and others. We'll do them one after the other. So others don't get lost. So currently we are still talking about the regular mailbox. We've not even talked about shared mailbox. Now we talk of room resources mailbox. So any other question? Any other question? So in absence of none, thank you for coming around today. If you have going forward, if you have any question